Nithyanandam.
Nithyananda.
This is Ma Chitambara, and I have with me today one of my dearest Guru Behens, Ma Nithya Aprameyananda.
Nithyananda.
So, Ma Aprameya is from Poland, and I actually met Ma Aprameya for the first time in Kumbh Mela in Ujjaini. So that was when you had just taken your sannyas initiation.
Yes.
And actually the same time that I had taken mine, but you were one snan ahead of me.
Yes, this was the first snan, the main one.
Yes. So what I wanted to share actually, so Ma Aprameya, I've known her for some time now, and so today we'll be sharing about inner awakening specifically. So just like me, she attended inner awakening first and then kind of decided that she wanted to be with Swamiji and that the path of sannyas was for her. So what I wanted to share about Ma Aprameya before we start is, see, it's a real testament to our transformation, especially when we start this journey. It can be a little bit difficult to gauge our own progress in how we're doing. Right, we always start questioning, am I having breakthroughs? My God, the same incompletion is there with me. When will it ever go away? The same things keep pestering me time and time again. But I can say from when I first met you in Ujjaini to the being that you're blossoming into now is such a huge transformation. So I don't know if you're aware of it or not, but I wanted it to be there on record, on camera, that it never ceases to amaze me how Swamiji holds each and every one of us. And we all get stuck in our own things that we go through, but you really have changed a lot and blossomed a lot, and it's really beautiful to actually see, especially as a sister disciple. Seeing that is wonderful. So I'm going to shut up now and let you share. So I've spoken at length about my experiences of inner awakening and how I was kind of a very different being before finding Swamiji, and obviously after inner awakening it definitely empowered me. So what were your experiences of inner awakening, maybe before you found Swamiji and then afterwards? Is there anything that you feel you want to share, or is there anything that stands out for you as something that the world should maybe know about?
It's a big question.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, it's okay. But what I'm thinking about what you just said, and that, thank you, because it's different when you are in your body and basically the journey is going on and a day by day and things are happening. But I think that sometimes people have a different perspective and see sometimes more than we do. So, yeah, what you said is actually so true, that the the life with Swamiji, that this is such an important space for transformation. That this is such a space for anyone who is aiming for whatever they are aiming. That anything, when Swamiji says that anything you want is possible, it is really possible. Sometimes we have to have a little bit more patience to get the fruits of the effort, especially Swamiji's, because he never gives up. Sometimes we gives up, but he never ever gives up on us and our goals and our dreams and our aims. Yeah.
And did you have any, like, I know for myself, when I went to Inner Awakening, I was very clear that, see, I started catching the thread that it's not necessarily the situations in life that are the impacting factor in my life, but how I perceive them and how I cognize them and how I allow these situations to shape me, in the sense that I can either feel like, oh, if something that I perceive is bad happens, I'm a victim, or I can take it as a learning, and it can strengthen my experience. Once I caught that thread, I was like, oh my God, I have to really dive into the depths of this and unravel what is there and take responsibility for reclaiming my own existence. Other people go for healing, like they might have whatever physical ailments. Was there anything for you when you found Swamiji and you heard of inner awakening? Was there anything that you felt, oh, I have to go for this reason?
It was unusual for me. So when I was introduced to Swamiji, it was a friend who'd done inner awakening, and she shared with me after she came back. But I wasn't in a space of listening at all. So yes, and she sent me actually even a video of Swamiji, and I just thought, I can't understand what Swamiji is saying. I'm not interested, although I was a speaker at the time for around 10 years. So I should be. Oh yeah, so I should be interested. You would think. You will catch the avatar straight away. I didn't, and yeah, and I just left it. And I thought, why would you pay so much money and get up 4 in the morning? So all I thought was like obstacles and nothing of benefit as such. But I didn't really have that listening. So my yeah, a few months later, so I had a personal situation when I put myself into a space where I thought I can't handle whatever I created anymore. So this was a relationship which really didn't have a future. And I was at a point, I was in, we could call it a middle-age crisis.
Yes, midlife crisis.
Yes. So everything came together, and then one day, a few months later, after the friend introduced me to Swamiji, she invited me for Kalpatar. And I went for Kalpatar. It was at the time the 2 hours meditation, ending with the personal blessing through the video conferencing, and Swamiji asked you the famous, what do you want?
Yes.
And giving you a bon. And I stupidly still asked for something which didn't work already for a few months. And yeah, but the moment when the room was filled with Swamiji's energy, I knew something on some level in me, like actually the whole being knew that this is, I was just astounded what I feel. So I knew this is what I've been looking for all my life.
Wow.
And then the next month I found myself in Varanasi in North India in awakening.
Wow.
So I didn't have any obstacles really, because yeah, the money wasn't a problem. I thought that maybe I wasn't sure whether I could get annual leave, but it wasn't a problem. No one questioned me. Although it was unusual to take 3 weeks off at the current workplace. So
Wow.
yeah, that was kind of coming there. And yeah, and I never regretted, obviously.
Yes, well, obviously
You've
taken the vows of sannyas, which is a huge commitment to your transformation and a life with Swamiji, and also enriching the whole world about what he's doing here. So you had no hesitation in just diving in and jumping in, and you had your savings, you paid for inner awakening. So I know actually there's some people that have the money, they have no obstacles, and they feel like for whatever reason they just don't want to go, or it's not the right time for them to go. What would you say for the people that have all of the so-called usual obstacles not as obstacles for them, but are still not going?
What I would say, I mean, for me, I value masters. I value the truth. For me, listening to the master is so important, because everything, life is built on truth, on the spiritual truths. Without the spiritual truth, we cannot exist, and we can see what is happening to the world still, where the civilization is going, because it kind of went away from the spirituality, from the core of who we are. So that's the results. So if someone tells you go to inner awakening, why? Because we have to come back. Otherwise, there is no future. There's no future.
Yes, I absolutely agree.
And this is this sounds very dramatic, but that's the point. But on a kind of, let's say, more mundane level, you can have what you want. This is just a reality. As I said, sometimes people have to wait a little bit longer and have the will persistence to achieve something. Why? Because when Swamiji is giving a boon, he says sometimes the boon, we are so ready for something that this is basically a given in a split of a second. But sometimes we have to grow, we have to open to the space, we have to ripen to receive something, and this sometimes takes a little bit more time. So if people are ready to really have the will persistence, give a little bit of patience, give a little bit of time, then it will happen for sure.
Yes. Beautiful. Beautiful words. Thank you. I also shared a video the other day really emphasizing the same thing, that the dysfunction of human society is unavoidable. And only by coming back to the roots, and thankfully we have someone like Swamiji who is making sure this science, and it is an inner science, whether it's the science of third eye awakening or the science of completion, it's the science of how we should be living our lives, and we do need to come back to that. I couldn't agree with you more. So thank you so much for sharing, and I look forward to seeing your future transformations.
Oh, thank you. Me too, yours. But also, if I could ask, add something. So,
of course,
because it sounds very serious, whatever we kind of talked about, but Swamiji is so much fun. So if you think that everything is serious and we are wearing kavi and we are monks or nuns in the kind of Western understanding, it's not true. So yeah,
not at all true.
You can't have, I don't know, the master we have is so much joy and fun and
best sense of humor.
Yes, best sense of humor. This is it.
Yeah, and we have a lot of fun, actually. That's the thing. We should maybe make another video about sannyas.
Yes.
About that in particular. So yeah, we were just sipping our turmeric chai latte before and just discussing our little things that we have. So yes, it's always a lot of fun. So yes, thank you. Thank you for being my guest, and thank you for watching. If you have any questions and comments about sannyas or inner awakening, you can leave a message beneath and I will get back to you as soon as I can. So until next time, thank you, and Nithyanandam.
Nithyanandam.